The Tamil Nadu government has moved the Supreme Court seeking an ex-parte order to the centre to release 2,000 crores as part of an interim relief package for flood-ravaged districts. The centre has been saying that Tamil Nadu needs to be more accountable for how it spends the funds. Joining us now, A. Sarvanan of the DMK, Ramaswamy Mayappan, he's a political analyst, Pulla Rao, the political analyst, also with us, also Rajat Sethi. Let me go across to you, Mr. Mayappan, first. What came up in the Supreme Court in a plaint was that, and I quote, the government of India is being arbitrary, right? That's what the allegation is, and that there is an arbitrary and violative act of fundamental rights being violated, guaranteed to citizens under Article 14 and Article 21 of the Constitution. Why, if there is a delay in the release of these funds? How would you respond?
A very good evening, Shub. Firstly, I think the DMK is just playing out a fight for the purpose of elections. It's only for garnering some sympathy among the electorate. But I primarily look at the legal position first. DMK does not have to go to the Supreme Court. The DMK first will have to demonstrate that it has funds within itself or it does not have funds within its capacity to pay out the public. The DMK in its government here in Tamil Nadu has not conducted a proper audit of what are the recovery measures, what needs to be paid out in terms of devolution to the respective people who have lost money or resources during the floods, both in the northern part of Tamil Nadu and in the southern part of Tamil Nadu. Similarly, they will have to also account for what monies have to be paid for damaged industries, MSMEs, and larger issues, and including farmers. But that has not been done here. When they have filed the suit, all their claim is that the union government has not done. And for the arbitrariness, they will have to place necessary relevant positions as to why they find it arbitrary. Arbitrary merely can't be a statement. The government of India, by no rule of law, is mandated to pay to state governments when they seek grant and aid. Grant and aid is done after a procedural mechanism.
No, but let me just stop you over there. What the BJP, what the state government has been saying in the Supreme Court is that there has been an assessment done by experts, the IMCT, and a subcommittee of the National Executive Committee. In other words, these funds are not being released despite some action in terms of analysis having been done. That's their problem. Why the delay?
See, the constraint is this. What they expect is an immediate reaction after an assessment is done. The assessment will have to translate to a report. The report has to be consulted by a committee, and then the finance committee will have to approve the budget that needs, or the funds that need to be transferred. It can't be just in one go that just because merely an assessment is done, funds are transferred. Then if that be the case, then the Tamil Nadu government has already done an assessment of what's happened in Ambattur.
No, but is that being reasonable? Because the floods took place in the month of December. We're now several months down the road. Why does a state government feel compelled to go to the Supreme Court? Doesn't that actually say that, it's a serious problem, and who's suffering ultimately? People on the ground.
Absolutely. See, there are two things that we'll have to look at. One is an emotive issue. Apart from what money needs to be paid out, for me, irrespective of what my dwelling size is or what the size of my business is, but my livelihood is affected. When such livelihood is affected, I think all politicians, irrespective of sans party lines, will have to be responsible and act to it first. What the central government has done is Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, the defense minister Rajnath Singh were present immediately. They were dealing with the emergency issues right away. So to answer the emotive issues, they were present at first.
Okay, just one second, sir. I just want to bring in other panelists onto this as well. Mr. Sarvanan, the point being mentioned by the centre is, in fact, by the finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman, is that 900 crores has already been released to the Tamil Nadu via the State Disaster Relief Fund, right? This has not been utilized properly. She says, had they utilized this properly, much could have been averted. Besides, 5,000 crores was arranged to build stormwater drains in Chennai. Let them first release accounts for this. Why has the state government not released accounts?
See, our Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, had slammed the lackadaisical and callous attitude of the finance minister. He has today, in a public meeting at Tiruvannamalai, had said that he had spoken immediately after, during the aftermath of these debilitating, destructive cyclones. He had spoken to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister assured the Chief Minister that, yes, I am sending the Finance Minister there, and funds will also be released. This is the promise made by the Prime Minister. That is what our leader, Mr. MK Stalin, had said today. But only the Finance Minister came, no funds had come. It's a lie. When the Finance Minister says that they had arranged 5,000 crores, that's a lie. It is borrowed from the Asian Development Bank by the state government.
Yeah, but
of course,
what about the fact that, but Mr. Saravanan, what about the fact that stormwater drains in Chennai were hardly built adequately? These had been assigned, these funds had been given when the last time around problems had taken place in Chennai and Tamil Nadu, right? The question is of accountability. If you want money, irrespective of where you've got money from, if stormwater drains and things and infrastructure had not been built up, then how are you now asking for more money? That's the point.
Again, the finance minister is wrong, and the BJP's propaganda that the state government has not built stormwater drains is again a blatant lie. I'll tell you why. Because in 2021, ever since we came to power, there was a flood in 2021. November 2021, Chennai was flooded for a small amount of rain. Chief Minister worked that the next rains coming, there will be not a single drop of flood in the city of Chennai. 2022, there were again heavy rains. There was not a single drop of flood in the city of Chennai.
Then what happened in December 2023,
I'm coming to it. Yes, Som, I'm coming to it. See, 2023 December, this is unprecedented rain. You and I could not have imagined that within 2 days, 50 centimeters of rain will pulverize the state of Tamil Nadu, the city of Chennai. No stormwater drain could handle 50 centimeters of rain. You can ask any expert. That is the situation. And to ensure, see, what is the BJP government supposed to do? The BJP government is supposed to release funds from NDRF. 58,000 crores are lying unused. Why the BJP government is not willing to give that money for the people who are suffering in the South Tamil Nadu and North Tamil Nadu? We wanted 27,000 crores. But fine, okay, you are not going to give that kind of money. You said, you promised that wait for the process to come completed. You spoke about the process, 7.1, the interministerial committee. The committee comes, looks at the damage, gives a report to the union government. Why the union government has not acted on that?
Okay, one sec. Rajat Sethi, would you like to? One sec. Sir, there's no need to shout. We are hearing you perfectly.
No, it's not shouting. This is the anguish.
But sir, don't raise your voice. We are all hearing you, sir, very clearly.
It has to be raised, Vishnu.
Mr. Saravanan, I'll come to you in a second. We are all friends on this program, sir. I share your anguish. People in the state of Tamil Nadu have suffered immensely. I'm sure we all share the anguish of people in the state. Nobody wants our citizens to. But I wanted to come to you, Rajat. The point which has been made is that it's not just a case of Tamil Nadu. It is also, for example, allegations made in Karnataka of funds not being, for drought relief, funds not being diverted to the state. There have been issues raised earlier on by the state of Telangana that the center was not diverting enough funds. There's been a constant problem. Bengal also making the point that in their case, revenues from GST have not been given. So it's a different context. But the argument is the same, that the center is denying states of funds. How would you look at that?
Well, Kerala government is one case in point, and the Kerala government's plea before the Supreme Court was actually put before a larger bench, and the Supreme Court went through the genuine rights of the state government to go with their overdraft and borrow more beyond the limit prescribed to them. The Supreme Court looked into all the merits, both of the center and the state, and then said that it is primarily the responsibility of the state government to manage its finances. Vishnu, I have worked as advisor to 3 state chief ministers. I can tell you, across the length and breadth of India, our state finances are not managed with the level of professionalism that the central funds are managed. And there is lacuna, there is state capacity issue. And therefore, what needs to be done is not wake up 15 days before the polling. Tamil Nadu is going into polls in just 15 days. And I'm telling you, from the streets of Chennai, the biggest sort of anti-incumbency factor against the ruling DMK is that it did not manage professionally through proper governance the floods issue. Their ministers, their representatives did not even visit those constituencies. That is the heart of the main angst that the people are expressing against the ruling alliance of the DMK and the Congress in the state. This is why just 15 days before I mean, are we all naive that we are not understanding that why did they pick this issue just 15 days before the state goes into elections? What were the 40 members of parliament doing in the parliament?
Just give me 10 seconds.
One second. Let me put that to Lakshmi Ramchandran, or the Secretary General of the
Vishnu, 10
Tamil Nadu
seconds to me.
Congress.
Vishnu, 10 seconds
One
to me.
sec. No, Mr.
Let me
Saravanan,
answer
in
that.
order, please.
Let
Lakshmi
me
ji,
answer.
how would you
Just make
reply
some
to that?
serious
That these are
allegations.
issues which are being politicized, right, just before the elections.
No, this is really funny. I don't know when he last visited the streets of Chennai. I can tell you because every morning, every evening, we are all on the streets
night, madam.
campaigning and we are meeting the people. So in the streets of Chennai, people are saying that the central government is antagonistic to Tamil Nadu and they are not giving us our dues. Flood relief is our right. The state faced one of the biggest disasters of this century. 8 districts were affected. A central team came, assessed, and we were even promised that we will get the relief immediately. But nothing has happened. The fact that the state government has to approach the court for everything, for anything concerning the central government and its decision making is very shameful. It's very unfortunate. It is not that the people on the street are not noticing it, and they are very upset with the central government. So this is not the only issue. If you see, we have a governor appointed by the union government sitting here. The governor does not does not give consent to bills passed by the assembly. The assembly consists of elected representatives of the people, and they pass a bill and then he doesn't sign, and the state government is again forced to go to the Supreme Court. And last time when the Supreme Court, Mr. Chandrachud, the Chief Justice, reprimanded the governor, and he said, he's a constitutional authority and he should first abide by the constitution. Right. And again, there was a case where he refused to swear in a minister. The team that the
all right,
chief
so you are indicating that there is a bias, right, from the center or the BJP to the state. I get that point. 1 second. Ma'am, I just wanted to go across to Pulla Rao. Sir, is this an election issue, the issue of drought, of flood relief?
No, definitely. This is a talking point for the DMK and those against the BJP. Normally, when a disaster occurs, the state governments all over the country make very high demands in the hope something of it will be given. To address this issue, the central government sent the central interministerial team. That interministerial central team came there, they saw everything 3-4 months ago, they came to some conclusion, they showed action. Nothing has been done since then. What happened? If every state government has to go to court, like Kerala government went on March 6th and got some relief, then people will stop coming to the central government. The prestige of the central government will be affected in the long term that we are not going to get. Therefore, it is to the advantage of the central government to come halfway, talk to them, relay some things, and not take this stance. You can't take this stance. Eventually, it will degenerate into something which is very bad for central-state relationships. I am not talking about the amount of funds. I am not talking about the other things. I am talking about the response. The response has to be very fast, very sensitive, and then, the people will appreciate it. To what extent this is going to affect politically, I will not say, because, there are so many issues on the political cauldron that go on and, who votes for what. But it is not a good practice. We have Karnataka now, we have Telangana, we have Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And if they are taking the routes to the court, it is not a good, healthy situation for India. Somebody should wake up in the central government and say, let us do something fast and address this issue. Otherwise, they won't come to the central government. They'll belittle the government. They'll belittle the prime minister. It is to their advantage, the central government, to meet these states halfway. And I don't believe it has been done. Though the states usually also very high figures, there is misuse. There is a minimum which can be done, which should have been done immediately. Immediately, within a week, it should have been done, a minimum. Ex-parte, as the Tamil Nadu government has said. I do hope that in future, at least, there will be some kind of Supreme Court. Now, once the Supreme Court intervenes, they'll set up norms. or the government will have to follow. The
Mr.
initiative
all
would
right.
have left the
Pulla Rao,
central
sir, I
government
get
now.
your point. Mr. Mayappan, would you like to respond to that? That the centre has not met the state government halfway. And if you look at what was said in court today, the plaintiff says that this is hampering state development. It's causing mental agony and hardships to people of the state. How would you respond?
See, the hardship for the people was met with at the first instance. Nirmala Sitharaman was present here. She handled the flood situation. The chief minister was participating in the India Alliance meeting while that was happening. So, but just as far as the legal issue goes and in the issue of finances, I think before, as part of the assessment that needs to be done, we'll have to check what industry needs to be paid and what each one requires. That assessment has not been done. Even in the report that has been tabled by the Tamil Nadu government, in the budget report, it's incomplete. It does not talk about the flood relief that's given. It only talks about the handouts that's made to each individual. It does not talk about the recovery that needs to be paid to the farmers, that needs to be paid out to the industry. Let that amount be ascertained. There is currently surplus money that is available at the Tamil Nadu government. Have they utilized any bit of that funds for this purpose? And there was 900 crores that were available from the NDRF and the SDRF funds. Have that fund been utilized? None of these have been explained. So I'm not saying that the central government does not have to hand out a certain portion. The central government has to participate. The central government will in due time, but only when the report is complete and once the assessment is complete and when the Tamil Nadu government takes the position that these amounts are being handed out. Today, just mere handouts should not be granted with the central government. And the central government also is in a position of questioning the financial credibility of the state. They've taken loans of about $251 million for the Costellar project and another loan for the purposes of Chennai stormwater drain system. Neither of these are completely at the moment. The 251, both are guaranteed by the central government and one is paid completely by the central government. While this be the position, the state will have to answer where it stands, how is it utilized the funds that it has already received, and what more has to be paid out.
Okay, one sec, Mr. Pulla Rao, you had a point to make. 30 seconds, so I need to wrap this up. Go ahead.
Once the issue goes to the Supreme Court, they'll pass orders. The initiative will no longer be with the state government, central government. That's what the central government has to think about.
Okay, Mr. Saravanan, go ahead, sir. 30 seconds.
Yeah. See, I don't know about what this gentleman is saying. He says the state government funds are managed less professionally than the central government funds. The central government has borrowed almost 120 crores in the last 10 years. I don't know how do we compare all these things? And that apart, it is the central committee which visited Chennai, said that the state government has done a wonderful job. The authorities have cooperated so very well. This is the report of the central committee. So who is he contradicting? If he has not read his, whatever is the report, it's very pathetic. And coming and speaking on behalf of one party, he is speaking about anti-incumbency in the last 2 years. What about the anti-incumbency in the last 10 years? Who is going to pay? The BJP will pay dearly for that.
Okay, one second, Mr. Saravanan. I'm wrapping this up. I want to go to Rajat as a point.
Rajat, the Madras High Court looked into the issue.
Half a second, Rajat. Rajat. Mr. Saravanan, finish your sentence. Yes.
Since this is the legal question.
The final point is this. See, the thing is this.
Rajat, one second. Rajat, one second.
January 2024. The report was given in January 2024.
Okay, all right. Okay, one second, Mr. Saravanan. Again, no need to raise your voice. We are hearing you. Rajat, go ahead.
See, the point is this issue went up even to Madras High Court. Madras High Court said that these funds are liable to be, sort of not reach the actual beneficiaries, and it will, feed into the corrupt system. And they said, and in fact, one of the justices actually proposed that the central government should step in and should actually do a direct benefit transfer to the aggrieved citizens. Do you want the case? I can
Stop making a fool of yourself.
I can tell you, it is the 19th of December 2023.
What hogwash is this?
No, one second. Everybody, we don't do it like Mr. Saravanan, Lakshmi ji. He has to be allowed to speak without you shouting on top of him. It just doesn't work like that otherwise. Finish your sentence. Lakshmi ji, I will come to you next.
Justice Krishnan Ramaswamy, who made this observation in Madras High Court when this issue was brought in over there as well. He said that direct benefit transfers will only establish trust when the corrupt practices in the entire disbursement is too severe.
Okay, got that. Rajat, I take your point.
Published on that.
Lakshmi ji, you've got 30-40 seconds. Please finish.
No. The fact check of whatever he said right now has to be done. And nothing like that happened. And it was nothing pertaining to the flood relief. that was given by the state government. Now, another point that I want to raise is, after the elections were announced, the Prime Minister came to the state 5 times. This was the biggest disaster of the century. Where was the Prime Minister when he could do an aerial survey of the Gujarat floods? Why wasn't he here in Tamil Nadu, in the southern districts, and when things were really out of hand in Chennai? Where was he? So that is the question that I want to ask you. And Nirmala Sitharaman coming here, what did she do? She came and addressed the press.
No, but the defense minister also visited, if I recall. The defense minister also visited, if I recall.
What is the point? What is the end result? What is the end result?
No, but what is the end result is look.
No funds.
This is a desperate.
Vishnu, there are no funds, Vishnu.
2 weeks before the election.
No.
It's fun.
All right, okay, everybody, need to wrap this up. But certainly for people on the ground in Chennai, areas to the north and to the south, the inability of whichever government, whichever state, whichever part of the administration in protecting them against floodwaters, which increasingly become more and more severe, well, that's the larger issue that will remain unaddressed. Thanks very much for joining us on this.